Welcome to NAGP TV. We're here Thursday night for the NAGP GT1 series. This is our Thursday opening endurance race at Suzuka. This is going to be 3 hours, about 92 laps. It's going to be a brutal test for these drivers to see if they can make it around this track without incident for 92 laps. The qualifying race last week, we saw a lot of action. Rich Roman actually qualified for the starting pole with Kevin Savoy in second and Chris Moses in third. That's not quite the way it ended up. Chris Moses ran away with the race with Rich Roman coming in second and Kevin Savoy in third, and Kevin had a great battle going on with the Irishman David Canavan and David Pohl. In 3, 4, 5, they fought just about all the way across from start to finish, and basically in the last casino triangle is when they all came together and the order was set for Savoy, Canavan, Pohl in third, fourth, and fifth. Bit of controversy over that swapping of paint there, but they got it all settled out. Racing incident, and that's how the grid's going to sit tonight. Rich Roman and Kevin Savoy secured their 1-2 starts in the qualifying for the qualifying race. So they're going to start, and Rich Roman's going to start in pole position number 1, followed by Kevin Savoy, Chris Moses in P3, the Irishman David Canavan in P4, and David Pohl in P5. Brad Maris going to start in P6 with the Australian Aaron Parsons in P7, Al the Boss Merriman in P8, and Sam Rolfe, who had a great ride in that qualifying race, and good to see Sam up there and breaking into the top 10 with our senior statesman Marty Uran out of California. Oh, we have just lost somebody out of there, but I'm sure they'll come back in. So that's your top 10 order there. We'll wait to see if we can get that grid straightened out. But welcome to everybody to NAGP TV. Want to remind you we have racing going on 3 nights a week. We're running on Monday nights. We're running Thursday and Saturday. Saturday is our Champ Car League, brand new to NAGP. Furious action there with the Champ Cars. A ton of fun to drive. A little different format than we're running here on Mondays and Thursdays, but a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie out there. Invite us all to grab a wheel, get in touch with the admins, and get out on Saturdays and enjoy the race. We're just going to take a little bit of a breather here for a couple of seconds until they get everything set up. Looks like we have dropped David Canavan, and he is nowhere to be shown in the grid right now. We sure don't want to lose him. He is going to be starting in 4th position. He is going to be a threat throughout this entire race, and we're going to have a big threat also coming from our pole sitter, Rich Roman. He looks really good in early practice. Rich is running Maserati MC12 in agency racing, along with Andre Cole, and Andre was out in practice as well, and Andre is showing some great speed out there tonight, so watch for Andre to make up some space there. Andre down in 18th. Won't be there long. Believe me, he'll be moving up that grid.
Hi there, Jack. Would you like me to give the guys an update on the championship standard? I know it's quite early so far, but I just thought I want to let you know where everybody is.
Absolutely. Along with me is Daryl Russell. Daryl, glad to have you along. Let us know what's going on Saturdays.
Okay, well, I can give you an update on the championship standings on the Saturday Champ Car World Series. And the current position on the championship, you have Marty Ewan actually leading the championship on 88 points. And in second place is Sally Montgomery Jr. with 86, and Steve Cajero 84, and Marcelo was on 83, and behind him is Aaron Parsons with 74 points, and he's the one to watch at the moment on the Champ Car Series. He's had pretty good finishes so far, and looking on the championship table, it's all to play for. With 5 more rounds to go. We got the Indy race this Saturday, and then the following week got the Denver, then Mexico, and the grand finale at Las Vegas.
Well, Mr. Parsons is always dangerous out there. He's a two-time champion Monday and Thursday night in last season. So that man can drive the wheels off just about any car he's in.
Yeah, it just seemed to gel with the cars. It just seems to like pick them up, and it's just quick out of the box. And okay, he's had 2 non-finishes at Portland and Toronto, but he's made up for it with a win at Cleveland and a win on the pole at the Indy Road Circuit, and also a win at Road America.
Yeah, the other driver that has really come on in the last season is that Sally Montgomery Jr. He's also running in the Monday nights, I believe, and he's running here tonight. He's slotted in 29th here tonight, so he's really done a great job over there in the Champ Cars.
Yeah, indeed. He's, as I say, he's running second in the championship, and he's had a win at Portland, and he had a win at Toronto, and got the pole and the fastest lap. So he's still within a shout, but the surprise leader, as I say, was Marty Ewan. But it's all to play for, as I say, with Aaron Parsons climbing up the order of the last few wins. Anything can happen.
Yeah, Daryl, and how's my help here in the broadcast booth? How are you doing there on Saturdays?
Not too bad. I'm about middle of the pack, really. I mean, I've been consistent. I had a finish at Long Beach, and I finished at Portland, and I finished at Cleveland, and I had a DNF at Toronto. I crashed out there and had an embarrassing moment at Road America. Well, unfortunately, I managed to get to the lead after everyone pitting. We ran about the opening stages of the race, and around about lap 15 I tried to edge out another lap and realised I was running out of fuel pretty fast, and I just got round to the last conflict of corners onto the pit straight, and the car just spluttered to a halt.
And that's a terrible way to end the day.
Yeah, it was. It's just it's embarrassing. I should have known better. I mean, I've been doing these kind of races for quite a number of seasons, so I should know when to pit. But I don't know. I thought I could stretch it out. I mean, I was looking good. The pit strategy was looking good. My tyres were wearing okay. The car was going great. The car did have actually pretty good straight line speed on the pit straight. I managed to get past Scott Douglas on the very opening laps, and I had some good fights with the newcomer Andrews Cole and Alex Scott, And a new introduction as well. I think Chris Moses had a good battle with him. He was trying out the champ card last weekend. So I don't know whether we'd be interested in doing another race with him, but yeah, I think he thoroughly enjoyed doing it.
Well, that's good to see. You know, we surely like to get a lot more people out there on Saturdays. And I noticed in the Saturday League, there's a little, maybe I'm going to call it a tighter-knit community. You guys share your setups more freely. It seems to be a little more open. Everybody's willing to help each other get a little faster.
Oh yeah, everyone's willing to help out, especially with the newcomers that come in to try the league and try these cars out. Everyone is willing to give them a setup and get them going and give them a feel to the car. I mean, even myself, I'm quite happy to give any setups and advice on how to go about driving these cars. And you know, I'm gonna say it's good to see that we've got some newcomers coming in. Like I say, with Alex Scott, it was quite a surprise actually. In the last race at Road America, he actually put the car on pole. But if it wasn't for his embarrassment on the parade lap, just spinning the car out of control, he could have been a contender.
Well, I'd sure like to get some more guys out there for the Saturday League. So there you go, folks. Get in touch with any of the people that are racing. Marty would be probably your primary contact there for, as he is the moderator there for the Saturday League. But any of the drivers are willing to help you out. It is a spec car. Am I not mistaken there? Everybody's driving the same car, are they?
Yep, they're all spec cars, all Lolas, 2005 and 2005 and 2006 cars. But yeah, they're all spec. It's all down to the driving talent, really.
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it from the driver and from the broadcaster. Saturday looks like a lot of fun out there.
Quality's open.
All right, Quali 2 has just started up, folks. We got the word from Chris Moses. It looks like we're going to have, we got some other guys loading in here. And Daryl, if you were going to load in, you could probably load in Quali 2 here.
Yep, I could do, but the only thing I'm a bit worried about is if I leave, like I did last time, I might take some drivers out with me.
Yes, there is that possibility. These things are fragile at best, folks. We have had some major technical issues here at NAGP, but the guys work furiously to get them under control and get them reeled back in. We got about 4 minutes left until we get ready for a little bit of a warm-up, and the race will start right away.
I'll tell you what you could do though, Jack. I could do the race stats, you know, the race times and things like that, if you like.
Absolutely. That works for me.
Okay.
I see we've got, hey, you know what? It looks like Curtis. That might be Curtis Chandler up there in the chat messages. Curtis, my screen is so hard to read on this. I have a real hard time reading that. Boy, it's too bad you couldn't have joined us up here tonight. We could probably use all the help we could get. But if not, I hope you get to take in a bit of the broadcast. NAGP Racing. Just another little shout out there.
Hello.
Hey, Curtis, you're in?
Hello. I made it, guys. How you doing?
Curtis, you made it. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chandler. We fired up.
Tooling down the freeway.
Oh.
Called the wife at home. Said, hey, turn on the computer, you know, and have her sign into all this so I can hop in here when I walk in the door. Here I am.
Yeah, Big Al had us start up a little earlier, so we're running, the broadcast is up and running. Don't know why he really wanted it, but he wanted us up and running early. I guess he doesn't want us to mess this one up, but good to have you in here. What do you think of last week's race?
It's always good to watch racing. It was a good race. Lots of good battles all the way through the field. Should be another good one tonight. Except I would hope maybe not so much door banging going on early. It is 3 hours, right?
Yeah, that was something at the end with Savoie, Canavan, and Poole. But that's what makes it exciting around here at NAGP.
I don't know about you, but I think it's always exciting around here at NAGP.
Well, I had my fill of excitement last Monday night, I gotta tell you. How'd you fare out?
Yeah. Monday night was only 2 hours in the GT2 cars, a little more tame cars to deal with, but going around Monza, nothing but a flooded downpour can be tricky in anything you're in, so that was a tough 2 hours. You didn't make it, did you, Jack?
Yes, I did, Curtis, to the first 2 turns, and then I was taken out, lost my rear end, and had a flat, and got stuck up against the wall and couldn't move the car.
Yeah, that's a tough way to start the season, though, isn't it? But I managed to finish and attain my goal of a top 10 there in 10th place, so it's kind of sad to go, yay, I made it top 10, but hey, my top 10, so yay. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season now, moving on to some tracks that better suit the Mustang.
Well, in those conditions, it was quite a feat for the guys to finish, and I did watch some of their broadcast, and you and the old Lugnuts had a few laps of intense action yourselves.
Yeah, we had some good little battle going there for a while until Johnny made a couple of mistakes and off into the gravel he went, and there it is. But it was fun.
Now, how does the next track we're going to suit your car?
Vallelunga. It's comparing times, from the off-season testing that I did to into this car. I'm probably not going to be quite there, but I'm working on it. It'll be close. I should be able to give the guys a little bit better fight. How about you? You're in the Porsche, aren't you?
I'm in the Porsche and was turning 135s last night, and the car likes the track, and I really like the track. I think that track is just a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be a good track for the Porsche. You should do good things there.
Well, the car is good. I just don't know if I can do good things. But tonight, it's all about the GT1 drivers, and boy, there's a lot of virtual money laid down on tonight's race.
That's something I didn't get in on this week, was the virtual credit thing going on.
No, I didn't get in either. It looks like we're flipping over, or we're going into warm-up. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of warm-up time, and then we're going to the race.
So I missed the practice times. Who was our fast guys here during the practice?
Rich Roman was out there laying down some hot laps, but his partner, Andre Cole, I believe, had the hot time out there. But then that is practice, and I don't know if it's going to be about hot times or consistency over 3 hours.
Probably a good combination of both around here. Definitely one thing you got to have is consistency. You got to be comfortable, because so you can be in the car, 3 hours, hopefully. And as long as we don't get any weather.
Well, yeah, weather could play a big one in this race as well. I'll tell you, 3 hours if the weather is wet. Boy, it's going to be a handful of this. Slippery out there.
Yeah, being in Japan, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a little moisture at the track over the 3 hours, so you might have to find it. middle of the road setup here. If it's anything like what happened a few days ago, it was perfect with all the practice sessions and total flooded. You never know. It could happen again. If you're looking out there in the skyline, you can see a lot of clouds out there, so maybe there is something brewing for tonight's race.
Well, I'm sort of hoping for ideal race conditions for these guys. It'll make for some fast lap times, some great action.
Yeah, there's this track is real good for that kind of action too. There's place to pass. You got the long straights, fast corners, hairpins. You got to slow way down. Get the car nip under a guy, you know, and get into that corner first. A lot of opportunities for people around here.
Yeah, this is another track. I really enjoy this track personally myself. I think it's a lot of fun.
Well, I enjoy the track. It's just never been kind to me.
Oh, I'm not saying I do any very good at the track. I'm just saying I really like driving on it.
It's a fun drive. Well, it looks like the guys are all done with their warm-up. And in a minute here, we're going to go to race. 3 hours here at NAGP.
It is indeed. And this is race number 1, even though we have had the qualifying race. This is the full race of the NAGP GT1 series.
And just in case you wanted to follow along, you can click on NAGP up the live timing in the GT1 on the home page here for GT1 and click on live timing. You can keep up on everybody's fast laps. So orders and such. In the meantime, I guess we're going to run down the order here, huh?
And here they are on the pole: Rich Roman, Kevin Sawai in P2, Chris Moses in P3, David Poole P4, Brad Maris in P5.
And from down under, Aaron Parsons starting at 6th. The boss man, Alan Merriman, 7th. Starting 8th with a good run last week. Sam Rolfe. 9th, Marty Aaron. And 10th, John Solberger.
11th is David Canavan. In 12th, John Wathen. Christian Hamilton in 13th. David Raleigh out of Britain in 14th. And Alex White in 15th.
Columbia brings us Rodrigo Triana in 16th. 17th is John Sportelli. 18th, Gubster Douglas. 19th, John McIntyre. And 20th, Scott Andrew.
In 21st, Amy Moore. 22nd, Chuck Carter. Steve Kager in 23rd. And Juan Monroy in 24th. And Liquid Lou Mascarelli in 25th. Starting
26th, I'm sure in the Corvette, is Paul Hall. 27th, Salem Montgomery Jr. 28th, Andrew Warner. 29th, Andres Cole. And 30th is Kreshnik Ali.
In 31st, it'd be Marco Conti. In 32nd, Andre Prado. And in 33rd, Lauren Weisman. I'm Jack Ivey with Daryl Russell and Curtis Chandler.
Good night. Got about 15 seconds. These guys will be off. I'm going to follow around in the back of the grid while you follow up front there, Jack, and I'll keep you updated on anything that may happen in the back, huh?
Absolutely. We're getting ready. This is it. And they're off and running. Rich Roman got a start, but it looks like Chris Moses is right on the inside and side by side into the first corner. Oh, and a little bumping action going on there with Rich Roman and Chris Moses. Chris Moses is out in front. This is very reminiscent of what happened last week. But there's no way that Rich is going to let him run out too far in front of him this time around. P1, we've got Chris Moses. Rich Roman in P2. David Poole in P3. Savoy 4th. Parsons 5th. Al Merriman in 6th. Solberger 7th. Sam Rolfe up to 8th. And Brad Maris into 9th. John Wathen in 10. How are we looking back there, Curtis?
Superman start up against the wall, had a little bit of contact with the Corvette, so we had some people in the back there forgetting it's a 3-hour race, trying to pick up a bunch of spots at the very beginning of the race, but so far pretty clean everywhere else. Everybody's just kind of following the line, getting the field here.
Well, that is. I'm just cycling through the field here, and you know what? This has got to be one of the cleanest starts I have seen in a long time. Chuck Carter, he's
David
back
Canavan's back in 18th. Trying to get underneath Marty Urin, 17th spot. And that position.
Chris Moses hanging on to first. Rich Roman in P2. David Pohl in the Koenigsegg, right behind him is Savoie. And Parsons up to P5. And Big Al in P6.
Trying to break away here early in this race. He's got that good start, didn't he?
He did, but I don't think the guys are going to let him run away this time. And they're not. Rich is right hanging on to the backside of Chris, and you know, he's just got to stay close, just not let him out of his sights. They're putting a little bit of space into the P3 of David, not a heck of a lot. But I think it's going to be these two guys putting it out until the end.
Yeah, Chris Moses and Rich Rowan, they pretty much had the field covered last week, if I remember correctly, and all going to be about pace and strategy, I think. But track temperature is looking pretty good. A little high maybe, but around 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Should not be too much of a problem. These guys, you know, depending on how they want to double stint maybe, or not double stint their tires. That's a long ways down the road yet.
Yes, we're in for about 92 laps or so. I've been told about this. They're saying race to 87, but they said it could go 92, as high as 92.
Real clean in the back. Got a couple little battles, but nothing too tense. Andres Prieto, I'm sure he's going to try to move up through the pack. He's back in 23rd right now. Maybe make a pass on Lou.
We got Chris Moses and Rich Rowan. They are gapping the rest of the field. They're putting some space on them. A little bit of distance back to P3 David Pohl, Savoie, and Parsons up to P5, and Parsons on the inside having a look. Boy, Aaron looks like he's got that Viper dialed in tonight.
Looks like Chuck Carter had a problem at maybe he was the Corvette I saw got in tagged by Healy at the start of the race. He was the car they were lapping there on the inside. He's just now moving his way into the pit, so Chuck had a real rough start to this race.
He must have picked up some damage there. We've got Sam Rolfe.
It sounds like he's got a flat, right.
We got Sam Rolfe up to P8, and this guy has really come on strong in this current season in NAGP.
Yeah, Sam's doing good. He can hold it together for the 3 hours. Should be able to get a real good finish out of here.
Well, that's the problem with some of us, like myself, inexperienced drivers. Consistency is a big thing. You can't keep it together through a total race.
Yeah, it's the whole trick of it. The more and more I do this, and yeah, you need to be fast. There's no mistake in that, but you can minimize your mistakes. You can get a lot of. You can really move up the leaderboard. Fewer mistakes, that's for sure.
We got John Watson in P10, followed by Schwartelli in P11, and Rodrigo Triana in P12. In behind him, Rodrigo in the big Aston, and Douglas up to P13. Oh, back at P14, 15 here. Boy, oh boy, we got them all coming together at the Casino Triangle. Cars bumping Johnny Mac. And Marty Uran, they're swapping paint like crazy. We got about a 6-car pileup back here, all heading down.
Looks like Laurent. Lots of banging going on there.
There is. Weisman's in on it. Hamilton's in on it. McIntyre's in. Marty's in. Boy, oh boy, there is some intense racing going on back there.
There's 4 guys right there that will not give you an inch. They'll battle you, but you're going to be banging some paint trying to get by if you're that close together.
And Weisman on the inside there, and looks like he has taken that position.
Sometimes it's better just to say, okay, go, let it go.
When there's 3 hours of this ahead of you, it might be a good move just to say, if you want it that bad, you can have it for now, but I'm coming back at you. And these guys are going to be coming back at you.
Like, I'm not going anywhere. You go right ahead and clear path, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking some of these guys, or 1 or 2 of them, are forgetting that this is a 3-hour endurance race.
Well, I'm sure we'll see the times drift downward as the hours creep up. Scott Andrew at P19. Oh, Andre Prado, is he frozen in the track? Well, it looked like he
had a little bit of a...
Yes, and we've got a driver off.
Looks like it's poor Lou.
Jaime Moore. Jaime Moore has lost his whole complete front end. His car is an absolute disaster.
He doesn't go into the pits.
I don't know. He might not know. He's lost his whole front clip there. His hood, his splitter.
He's about ready to find out, isn't he?
Everything. Oh, he will. He will shortly with that. He just found that out now.
You need that downforce into that first turn 1 corner there.
I think there's quite a few corners he's going to need that downforce in. And, you know, he missed a great opportunity there. He drove right by. And Paul Hall is looking for a safe way around him.
Bump, get out of the way there.
Well, like I said, I think Paul didn't know which way he was going to take that car. And we've got Krishna Khalili in P30. Looks like the side of his car's all beat up too. Chuck Carter back in P31. He did say Chuck had to make a pit stop.
Yeah, he had a flat and some damage, so there was some kind of stuff he had to take care of, so...
Well,
he's going to run out and get his laps out there.
Back up to the front. 1-2, Moses Roman. Nose to tail. And they are putting a little bit of distance on the next group of cars. Now, I didn't get a chance to look. What's the track temps like out there tonight, guys?
They're climbing a little bit. Track started at around 97 degrees Fahrenheit. They worked their way up to 99, so...
Not really affecting our lap time so far.
Well, I was just wondering if it's...
All the road leaders.
If the increase in temp is going to wear on these guys, tire-wise.
This seems to be so far.
Looks like Rich and Chris are checking out. I've already got, what, a 6.5 second gap on third place. So who do we got? A lane post and aircon center here, okay?
Yeah. 1-2. Moses Rowan. And David Bull looks like he's got a little breathing room between Kevin Savoie. Aaron Parsons in 5th. Those drivers getting some spaced out a little bit. Big Al Merriman up to P6. And John Silver having a good race. He's up in P7. Brad Maris in P8.
One guy we're going to have...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I was just saying, one guy we're going to have to keep an eye on is David Canavan, Monday night's winner. Started back in the pack. He's working his way around, picking people off here and there. He's getting ready to have some cups for Douglas. So David moving up to 12.
I missed something and I gotta apologize to everybody. Why did Canavan start back there? Was he penalized?
I think there was a penalty for him having a little bit of contact in the well, you know, if we've got a moment here, let's go and take a look actually.
You know, because I had him possibly starting in 4th. With Canavan right now, as Canavan tries his darndest to get around Gup Douglas. Gup driving a good defensive line though, making it real tough. And Canavan has lost it. He has lost it, and he is back on the track. He didn't lose any position though. But that has allowed Lauren Weisman to get right up on the back of the bumper, the speedy Irishman. Marty Uren down in P15. Johnny McIntyre in P16. Christian Hamilton chasing him down. Scott Andrew in P18. Scott's driving the Porsche. And Lou Mascarelli in the Corvette up to P19. Andre Cole all the way back in P20. Boy, oh boy, he looks like he's got some damage on that car as well. Yes. And that car is all beat up.
Well, his teammate was up front in second.
Yeah, and Andre had a faster time. Andre just taking liquid lube. And Salem Montgomery has just gone by Lou as well. Andre out. Oh, and Andre just took out Salem Montgomery in the corner there. That was ugly. But that happens. And a big gaggle of cars. Juan Monroy. Taking a look on the inside of
quick rundown.
Mascarelli.
Any penalties here for David, so either we missed something at the start, or we just we forget what happened.
Oh, and Lou Mascarelli is out. We caught him. He's into the wall. Flames. His car is, I hope they get him out. Let's get the emergency crews over there and get that driver out of there. That's the end of the day for Lou Mascarelli. That was absolutely terrible. And I believe that was Andre Cole that took him out on there. Or Juan Monroy is the culprit in that one. That was nasty. But that's excitement. Well, that ended Lou's night pretty dramatically.
bad for Lou.
It is great sportsman, a great guy.
17 minutes into the race and you're done, huh?
You know, I hate to see that kind of thing happen because, well, you guys know you race here. You know how much time we have put in to get ready for these things, and it's very disappointing when it ends early.
You're lucky really that it's virtual, because if the guy was alongside you, then you may want to punch him on the nose.
Absolutely.
Looks like we just lost Jaime Moore also with an engine failure.
Jaime's out with an engine failure.
Yes, he is. So we've lost 2 here in the last 30 seconds.
Well, I'm on board here with Marco Conti, the other half of the Corrado Conti boys from California. Salem Montgomery Jr. into P23, hanging on to the back end of Marco. Juan Monroy has lost it. He's into P23 now. And Andrew Werner is off the track and back on the track. David Rowley in P23. Salem off the track again. Boy, oh boy. I think he's got a Detroit-built lawnmower out there. Get her together, Salem.
There you see, just a couple little mistakes like that. Look at all the time they've lost, efficiency cost.
Absolutely, and it's real hard to make up that time once you get off.
Yes, sometimes you just got to realize, oh well, this is what I'm stuck with tonight for a car. So
yeah, we've got. I just saw a car off to the side of the track. Whose car is parked on the side of the track?
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm digging around trying to find out who that is right now.
Well, back up in front. We got a 2-car race going here with Chris Moses and Rich Roman. They look like they are pushing those cars hard.
Just looking a second ago, and there was quite a big gap, but now it's back down to nothing. So, I wonder if they shared mistakes or something.
Well, when I just pulled on to Chris Moses, there was a lot of smoke coming out of the side of his tires, so he might have gone in a little hot and had to lock him up. Triangle, 16, 17, 18, nose to tail. Boy, these 2 cars are well matched, and the drivers are well matched for this circuit.
I'm wondering, it looks like Moses' car, and he had a little bit of damage on the front of it there. On that right front corner, it might just give him a little bit of an understeer in the spoon and the lock.
You're right. I'm up on him now, taking a good look at it, and you're absolutely correct. He has punched out that front fender, and that's going to suffer a little bit with the aero. And might cause him some handling problems.
Maybe just a little bit more wear than he wants on those front tires, which of course may just balance out the wear on that car, since it's a little heavier on the rear tire wear. So,
and I can bet these 2 guys are going to pit right behind each other.
Well, they're real smart. If it comes down to a race between them, they'll just hook up, just run their laps together and not battle, and they'll be able to put a pretty big gap on the rest of this field. They'll be able to just make it a 1-2 fight for this race. They just work together a little bit.
Well, do you actually believe that, Curtis? Do you actually believe they're going to hook up together? I think Rich wants to show Chris his tailpipes in a bad way.
Yeah, you can't really do that in a 3-hour race. You got to use the first third, 2/3 of the race just to position yourself for the last portion of the race. So
this is where Rich really comes up behind.
Yeah, obviously you'll
but Chris seems to get out of that chicane just far enough away that Rich can't get him behind the draft. Well, enough of these guys. So let's move back to the pack. We got 3 hours, so everybody should get their moment of glory here. Pole and Savoie. Savoie down on the inside, having a good look at Pole. And he is knocked. Oh, boy, they're swapping paint there. I don't. Yeah. You know, for an endurance race, these guys are really going at it. B3, David Poole, Savoie, and Parsons. And you know what? Aaron's probably loving this. Knowing the kind of driver he is absolutely loving this. He's saying, go ahead, guys, battle away, but I'm going to pass you both at the same time.
Yeah, go ahead. Just beat on each other, guys. Go right ahead.
And he is picking these guys up. He's in a good position to take these two guys if they get into it. And of course, Aaron Parsons out of Australia, he's in the Viper, and we all know he hates this car.
Oh yeah, I don't know how he got stuck in this car.
I think he loves this Viper. Good three-way battle.
You know, while you're up there with those 3, 4, and 5 guys, I'm just sitting here following Rich, just seeing how he's going about his things, and I do believe he's just sitting there waiting. He's not pushing in, making any drastic moves or trying to dive inside or anything. He's just biding his time here.
And you could be more than correct on that one. He looked fairly smooth out there. And he could be just waiting for one little bobble, one little mistake. I think he's got the pace. He obviously has the pace to keep up with himself. It's going to be hard, whoever takes the lead here, to get by them without somebody making a mistake.
A little bit further back there, Jack. Go back one more spot, 6th place. Look who you find.
Big Al Merriman. And John Solberger in 7th. Brad Maris in 8th.
And these three are battling it out too.
And there's your Monday night dynamic broadcast duo. Al Merriman and Brad Maris. They've got Solberger in a
Brad in a Ferrari.
They got Solberger in a sandwich.
Well, we got to do something about that. Get that Ferrari in front there. We need that Ferrari in front of those two cars there, Brad.
Well, there's one smooth driver, Brad Maris, and one of our NAGP instructors off-season, or anytime actually. Feel free to contact any of our driving instructors, and more than welcome to get out, give us some on-track driving tips to help improve your lap times.
Solberger thinking about making a move there, but lifts a little bit.
Well, he was already involved in a couple of paint swap incidents, and I think he's well served this early in the race to hang on to his position and run with these guys. You know, 6, 7, 8 is not a bad spot to be in this GT1 league.
Does have a little bit of damage to the side of that car, but shouldn't hurt him too bad around here. More important to keep the front of the car undamaged. Go diving into that first corner, diving through 130R and spoon. You keep that front down for it, otherwise it'll just push right out into the gravel, suck you into the wall, and your night will be done. So take care of the front of the car.
Well, Brad Maris's car looks like it is in tip-top condition. Beautiful paint job. Prancing pony on the back. Yes.
Behind that group, you got Sam Rolfe, and he's able to reel these guys in. And that McLaren.
Yeah, that McLaren has done well in the past. I could just never get a handle on that car at all. You're right. Sam is making some gains on that group of cars there. John Watson in P10, rounding out the top 10. But in P11, we've got that lucky green Irishman right in behind Watson, and you can bet Canadaman's going to want to take that spot.
Yeah, David working his way up from whatever happened.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how intense this really is up here. You know, in this league this year. I mean, we've got Canavan has started in P14. He's made his way up to P11. And I don't know how many laps we've gone, but this guy's one of the slipperiest drivers out there, and he's only made up 3 spots so far in this race, so it's not an easy bunch of drivers to overtake up here.
A little worried about David's car. Looks like it's a little bit tail happy. He might be struggling just a little bit. Gonna have to play with those tire pressures in his pit stop. He might have missed a set of these high temps.
Well, he might be carrying a bit of damage. We see some of the headlights are, and he has passed him. Watson's made a little bit of a mistake there, and Canavan has gone by to spot. Looks
like Al made a mistake we missed. It's Solberger and Brad Maris and Sam Rolfe made the pass on Al. I don't want to say a mistake. I didn't see what happened, but the pass has happened. So.
Nope, we missed that. Sorry, folks. Well, Sam Rolfe is really making up time here. Cycle down through the cars and let's give everybody their moment of glory. So where is that? Marty, you ran in 12. Gup Douglas running a solid 13th there. Way to go, Gup. And Lauren Weisman in P14. Christian Hamilton, P15, and the last paying points, Scott Andrew in P16. Johnny Mad Dog Mack in P17. Andre Cole in P18. Surprising, he had some hot times out there in practice. Salem Montgomery up to 19th. Oh, and a big gaggle of cars behind him there. Rally in 20th. Lonroy in 21, and Werner in 22.
Chris Moses running one. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Moses running early. early in his stints, he was running 156s, and he's dropped down to the 157s. Right behind him, Rich Roman, pretty consistent in the 57s. One guy there, Kevin Savoy, bearing in the 57s and 58s. So our leaders are the fast guys right now.
And those 1 seconds will add up. I'm back here right now with David Raleigh and Juan Munroy, and Juan is all over the back of Raleigh. Juan off the track, broadcaster's curse. Oh, a little bit of contact there. We've got Werner and Munroy side by side. Looks like Werner let him through.
Looks like Juan's been off the track more than he's been on the track tonight.
Well, he is. He's got a number of different colors of paint tonight. Marco Conti soldiering along in 23rd. Steve Kager, 24th. Rodrigo Triana and Paul Hall off the track in 26th. Chuck Carter back in 27. I think Chuck had his fill of problems at the beginning there. Kreshnik Halili
made his way around. Kreshnik though, yeah.
I'm gonna have to stop.
That's why you just keep going. You pick up a place here.
I'm gonna have to stop mentioning these guys' names. I just tuned into Kreshnik Halili, and away he went off into the kitty litter. He's in 28th. Back out in front, Chris Moses. Is Chris checking out?
Is he going to go off here? There's a 2 second, almost 3 second gap now, so something's happened.
Chris coming up with some lap traffic now. What lap we running on now, Curtis? Any idea?
Looks like we're running lap 16 at the moment, getting ready to go to 17. It's like our 17th lap. Looking at the times here, Rich Roman had a couple of 159, so either we'll have to keep I'll keep an eye on that and see if those lap times have dropped off. Maybe the temps have caught up to Rich.
Well, it could be tire wear coming on, and we're getting those laps in there. Got almost a 3 second lead over Rich Roman, so Moses is pulling out the stops here. Even with the damage on the front, it can't be that bad. Off the leader. But Savoy and Parsons, so we got Paul, Savoy, and Parsons. 3, 4, 5. That's a race in itself going on there. And back with Maris, Solberger, and Rolf. And Merriman. That's another race going on back there. So let's get back.
Yeah, 10, 9, 10 seconds. These guys are still in the fight. You know, anything can change in the pit stops. So they're still in it with a shot.
Yeah, one rotten mishap in the pits and 10 seconds can evaporate.
Oh yeah, a simple little lock even into the gravel. The gravel's a little thick around here, and it sucks you in. It might take you a little bit to get out of there. So 10-second gap is it's nothing really.
Kevin Savoy is all up the bumper of David Poole. And he may be in tight enough to grab himself a draft. And he's going to the inside. Kevin Savoy, if he can hold it, no, he can't. He's off. And Parsons is by him. Savoy has to regain P5.
I saw somebody else go flying off into the gravel pit down there, and I didn't see who that was.
I think that might have been one of the lap cars trying to get the heck out of the way. And that can always be tricky, just trying to get out of the way. So now we've got Pole in third, Parsons in fourth, and Savoy in fifth. And boy, Kevin Savoy is probably going to be pretty upset with himself. He did take it into the corner rather hard.
Back in the fight for 8th place with Al and Sam Roth is really heated up here.
Back with
Sam made a little bit of a mistake. Al was right there on his bumper, showed him a nose a little bit here and there. Sam felt the pressure and got the car way sideways, but Al wasn't able to take advantage. So,
well,
you can see Sam
a little
protecting.
bump in his spun. He is spun off. A little bit of a tap.
Yes, Sam.
Hey, and there you
Al will
go.
wait for him, but
I just want to point something out there, and this is something that I'm not seeing as much of in the last season as I used to see when I started here, and I've only been here for 4 seasons. We watched Big Al Merriman tap Sam Rolfe, and Al pulled over and gave Sam the spot back. That's the NAGP sportsmanship that we like to see around here. Good on you, Al. Love to see that kind of stuff.
leading by example.
But Sam,
And
he's going
just
to
like
be right back at you, so hang on to your helmet.
protect that inside line again. And that's giving Don Walton
It has. Now we got a 3-way battle going on. This is great.
And of course that would be the broadcaster's curse. We just happen to go right to him and bang, right?
That was all time.
Happened to me 3 times Monday night actually. Al managed to catch all 3 of my mistakes on the broadcast.
Well, you know, on the upside of things, Curtis, you got some broadcast airtime.
That's right, that's true. Brought that on myself though, didn't I? Something's happened up front that you might find interesting.
Rich Roman has taken the lead. Boy, oh boy, I am sorry, Rich, we missed that completely.
Action is action.
Well, I just went over to Chris's car. And I'm not sure if that damage was yours or was just working. Chris had it off.
I missed it. No idea. I was just looking at my standings here and noticed that Rich was out front. Well, we missed it, but there it is. Your new leader, huh?
Rich Roman, Agency Racing, which is racing out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. You can bet all of Stroudsburg is rooting for Roman tonight.
My guess is Chris probably went wide into 130. He did that in qualifying. And if you're looking at his lap time, he's about a 7-second mistake. And that's what's giving Rich the lead. That's just a guess. But I'm going to go with it.
And you know what? I'm right there with you, Curtis. I mean, you've got great insight and a ton of racing experience, and you're usually bang on the money. Rich Roman.
Looks like something's happened to David Canavan. Don't know what. Canavan is in the pits and dropping places.
An early pit for Canavan.
He may have parked it.
No. Say it isn't so.
David's in the garage, so it's night over for David Canavan. Maybe, or is he in the pits?
I don't see him.
No, he's
in the pits.
It's okay.
He's in the pits. We got him up on screen.
He was hidden behind a pillar there, so I didn't see him at first.
I've got him. getting ready to launch out now, but he is down in places. But, you know what? Smart guy, smart driver. He might be on some sort of strategy we're not aware of. And he's back out. He's coming out in 22nd.
Yeah, maybe he just was done fighting the car and just figured now it's as good a time as any to get in the pits and take care of it.
Yeah, hard to tell what kind of strategy he's on, but obviously he must have reached some sort of a fuel window.
Looks like it is pit time. Rich Roman and Chris Moses both in the pits as well. Al Merrimon also in the pits. So we've reached our first pit window for tonight's race. Our new leader, David Pohl, and Aaron Parsons there in second.
And I gotta think if that big Viper's gonna have to come in if these other guys are coming in soon too.
So they're pitting on lap 21.
There is a big lineup in the pits, and Rich Roman is out first. Chris Moses right behind.
On pace for a 3-stop. If we can see anybody stretched out to lap 28 or 30. Those would be people possibly thinking about just 2-stopping it. Well, let's see if anybody goes that far or not.
I'm not sure. Are any of these cars capable of going those distances? And would the track temps allow the tires to even go those distances?
No idea. Certainly not going to have to worry about rain, are we?
Hell, it doesn't look too cloudy up there. But here we go. We've got Chris Moses, and he is in the middle of a Maserati sandwich right now. He is chasing down Rich Roman, and right behind him is Andres Gould.
Aaron Parsons, Dave Cole dived into the pits. That's giving Kevin Savoie and Brad Maris first 2 spots. Marty Aaron dives in now too. Christian Hamilton's diving into the pits. I guess would be Gubster Douglas would be following. Looks like Rich Roman just now cutting onto the main straight there and getting ready to grab 5 more positions back up to 6.
Yep, pit lane has been one busy area the last couple of laps.
Chris Moses looks like he I think I saw it. Looks like he got that aero damage fixed, and he was about 4 seconds down. He's worked his way back at about 1.5 seconds. So Chris Moses back on pace, and yeah, they were able to get that get in front of that car fixed in that last pit stop. So he should be back up to his pace.
Well, if he has picked up that much time with the repairs, then those repairs will hold him back a little bit. So look for him to give Rich a run again. Savoie still hasn't hit the pits, and currently is holding on.
Second place, Brad Maris dives in. John Solberger right behind him.
Yeah, there's a battle that's been going on for quite a while. It's no surprise that those two will get in at the same time.
Al Merrimon, who was in that battle with Brad and Solberger, is already pitted. Looks like he's got David Canavan right behind him, so David's making up some spots
we
here.
got Gup Douglas off the track and just misses the guardrail, and probably not doing his tires much good out there. Turn around, going for the rejoin, and does that perfectly. Stays out of everybody's way. Good on you, Gup. It's not an easy thing to do.
Probably see him dive in right now into the pits. He hasn't pitted yet.
And he
nope,
stays
he
out.
gives it a miss.
Gupper probably likes seeing that P5 up there. It'll be interesting to see how this
he stayed out. He is making a long stint out of it.
Solberger just out of the pits. Got a nice break in the action to come out there. Big Al Merriman being hunted down by Canavan.
Canavan was able to do. Canavan still has a really loose car, so he's going to have to be careful he doesn't wear those rear tires down again.
Yeah, there must have been something else going on with the handling of his car there. That wasn't this. I do see both his headlights are on now, so he must have got some aero fixed on the car. Drivers out there. Side by side into the corner. Canavan on the outside. Oh, and Big Al gave him a little bit of a bump, and Canavan's off into the kitty litter.
Al probably just not able to hold it into that corner. The car looked like it just kind of pushed out there, and nothing you can really do.
That was a bit of a risky
move. That front end washes out just a little bit.
And a bit of a risky move on Canavan's part to try and take the outside of that corner. Big Al's going to come to try and hold, even trying to hold it to the inside is going to be tough on that corner. With a lot of G-force.
Yeah, it is. Well, you take your chances and see how they turn out. So, well, David's going to have to work a few laps, work his way back up there. I don't think there'll be any hard feelings there. Dave's pushing really hard, though.
No, it looked like good, intense racing. John Lawton in P11 and Sam Rolfe back to P12. Sam's still having a great run. Boy, oh boy, I can't say enough about this guy. He has really come along.
Our leader, Kevin Savoy, into the pits.
Savoy in.
And that's going to give Rich and Chris the lead back. And look who's worked his way up in that first pit stop there. Aaron Parsons. Up to third, only right on the back side of Chris Moses there.
Up to third. A third of the way through the race.
Pretty much battling for the lead now, that 4-second gap.
And Aaron started, if I'm not mistaken, down around 7th or 8th. Christian
Yeah, he was in that battle 7th, 6th, 7th, and 8th for a while.
Christian Hamilton in P15 and David Rowley hanging on to P16. Rowley in the Ferrari. Juan Monroy P17. And Salem Montgomery Jr. just 2 spots out of the pay points at P18. Andrew Werner in the Koenigsegg in P19. Andre Cole in 20th. Followed by Ronnie and Johnny McIntyre chasing down the Italian. Oh, and Marco's off.
Had a bit of a problem out there. Maybe he was the car we saw go careening off into the sand trap. We are trying to out of the race, and then Scott Andrew. Whenever he was pilot, ran out of gas. So Scott's night is done.
Well, that's too bad. He's a lot of work in it before the halfway mark. Chuck Carter up to P25. Back out in front with your leader, Rich Roman, coming up to lots of lap traffic here.
Looks like the leaders have lapped up to about 18th position at the moment.
It is busy for them, but you know, just on board with Rich, watching him get through the lap traffic, and the guys are doing a good job to try and stay the heck out of the way. It's not as easy as it looks for us.
Makes it through there. We get Aaron and Chris everywhere after fighting for position. We can catch up to these guys here in the next 3/4 of a lap or so. Half a lap.
Absolutely, and this lap traffic is, you know, working in Aaron's favor here as they all get slowed up. And it'll give Aaron the speed to get up behind Chris.
It's all where you catch them. Sometimes you catch some lap traffic and they let you on by and they take a breath and didn't realize there was somebody else right on your tail and slows them up a little bit.
Well, you know, there goes that. I think that is Marco Coney, and they're giving him the blue flag, but he is not even letting up. I mean, just, and it looks like it's now Parsons, and you know what? Marco Coney is really holding up Chris Moses in a bad way. He is now bumping all over the place. Boy, oh boy, Chris is going to be absolutely fuming. And I don't blame him. Connie's still getting the blue flag. Get the heck out of the way. All he needs to do is lift, just momentarily, and these guys will be by him in a flash. But Curtis, that's only one man's opinion.
I try to be careful when I talk about stuff like that because I've been deemed a hard person to pass, and it's not a reputation you want. So I've been working on it, so I'm not going to dole out any opinions. I'm just trying to learn from my experience, and like you say, it's just a matter of just a little lift here.
Well, Curtis, I'll tell you.
Let the guys go have their fight, and you can get back on yours.
You know what? I've been. You know, it's one of the back burners in AGP. I have worked as hard as I can to be able to get the heck out of everybody's way. Give them the flash of the lights, let them know I'm going to stay the heck out of the way, and it only takes a second. You know when you're being lapped. Let the guys through. They've got the pace to go by, and there's no reason in the world to hold them up.
So with that, let's watch David Pohl, see how he has. He's caught up to Marco here. He's working his way up to Aaron Parsons, so Only about, what, 4 seconds behind Aaron?
And we saw the flag line again, giving Marco good. And Marco is pulled right back in front of David Cole. He had the blue flag on the back there. Finally, gets down on the inside.
I'll be right back, Jack. I'm going to go grab me a potato chip.
Yes, and I'm going to move off of this this blue car out of here before I get into too much broadcast trouble. P5. P5. We've got Kevin Savoy. Brad Maris in P6. Gup Douglas in the pits. P10. Sam Rolfe in P12. Followed by Lauren Weisman. And Lauren looks like he's got a little bit of front end damage on that car. Yeah, I'd say you beat the bejesus out of that one, Lauren. P13, yeah, Gup Douglas has dropped down to 15th now. 16th, David Rowley, hanging on to her as well. David,
I'm trying not to press the button while I chomp on some baked lays here.
Yeah, that'll play well. We do have 3 hours. I may have to break off and get myself a caffeine beverage. P16, Juan Monroy. And Gup is coming out of the pits. Drop back to P17th. Andrew Werner in P19.
Gup?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, Gup stayed out for quite a while. He was out there to maybe do that 2-stop thing, isn't he? That's 28 laps.
Yes, yeah, you know what? Could very well do, and that'll play into his hands later on if he can pull this off without running out of fuel. You know, that's a heartbreaker for me when I see these guys run out of fuel. It's just a brutal way to end it.
All the guys out there. We have one guy trying the 2-stop right, I think.
Trey Cole in P20, Johnny Mack in P21, and Marco Conti rated behind him in P22. Marco having a look on the inside. All over the back of him. Let's go on board.
Just looking to see who that was. I saw that red Ferrari right there on Marco, and Marco's trying to make his move. Here come the leaders.
Yeah. I had to look quick as well, Curtis, to see who was driving the 21 car.
Brad trying to get down inside Gup. Right down.
Yeah, it does. It looks like Gup was going to grab a little bit of suck right off him. Down there.
Got a good one too, didn't he?
He did. He put a little bit of distance between himself and Mark Overts. Gup was probably
that was his first season. The Paul Hall fan club. Say Paul Hall jumped ship. He went from Corvette to Ford. I don't know how you really do that. And then this season he's running the Corvette in GT2 and a Ford in GT1. So it's a house divided here with Paul. You know?
I'm trying to keep all the sponsors happy. Rich Rowan, race leader, D1. Boy, he looks pretty solid out there, I gotta say.
Only one minor mistake, it looked like, around lap 7 or so. Other than that, he's been real consistent. Always right there at the 56, 57 second lap. 156, 157, so he's got a real good pace.
Chris Moses, P2. Like
Aaron Parsons, who got up to third there in the pit stop sequences, and it was right there behind Chris. It's dropped off about 3 or 4 seconds, so he's not able to keep the pace there. He's running 57s, about three-quarter of a second, half a second slower than Chris Moses. So Aaron's going to have to make the passes in the pits, it looks like, but he's a lot closer than he was in that first stop, so he might be able to do it with 2 more stops coming.
Well, he's, you know, although we say he's just in P3 and he's falling off, he is in P3, which is still a great position to be in the Thursday Night's GT1 League. He's picked up a half a dozen spots from where he started, so always a dangerous competitor.
Yeah, he picked up about 6 seconds in that pit stop. So if everything stays status quo, he's gonna do more stops. That's gonna give him 12 seconds. Might be able to pull it off.
Well, Chris did have a bit of damage that he had repaired, which he won't have to have done. And you can bet Chris will turn the damage repair off for this next pit stop. He will do everything he can. We've got a little bit of a spin out in front there. I think that's Andre Wall out in front of Aaron Parsons. Moves out of the way and lets Aaron by. And a dip of the headlights from Mr. Parsons. There's one guy who always takes the time to acknowledge anybody who lets him through smoothly. First one on the lights. Thank you very much.
Aaron is so even-keeled, it's hard to really tell when he's upset at you.
And excited. You know, he wins the championship, and this is what thanks, guys. It was a great season, and had a lot of fun. I'm gonna jump out of my chair.
Yeah, I don't mind kicking your don't mind kicking your butt. That was fun. I'm doing it again next season.
Just a gracious guy, you know, and the amount of time he takes to help everybody out here at NAGP with their computer woes. Can't say enough good about the guy, especially when he's half a world away in Australia. Just a great guy to have around here. I'm gonna move through the field and see what's going on here. David Cole back in P4. And Savoie in P5. The only guy we're missing out of this little mix here is Canavan. Brad Harris in P6. Solberger in 7. Canavan in P8. And he is still being hounded by Al Merriman. Now there's two there that, boy oh boy, they could race bumper to bumper all night long, and you know it would be good, clean racing between these two.
Well, yeah, Canavan was able to get the pass made on Al, and now it's like, oh, no, I'm going to stick right here with you. You're not doing that. Al looking really racy tonight. That's good to see. Al puts a lot of effort into this. It's nice to see him have a good night going, too.
Well, you know, it always amazes me that these guys that administrate this league spend all the time giving us the enjoyment of being a part of the league. They do all the work, and they still come out and do a great job. And as far as a broadcaster goes, we can barely get the start of the race going, but I think we got those kinks worked out. We haven't missed, I don't think we missed a start this year, have we?
We've got 2 starts in a row. We're doing good on that. Now we got to do now is we get the finish, and I think we'll be golden tonight, huh?
Well, I think we're going to grab the finish on this one.
Working lap 33. What'd you say, 88 laps or so?
Yeah, they said, actually, in the pre-race chatter, they said that the actual would be 92 laps, but up on the screen it's showing 87, so, well, we have got one of the drivers that drove right off the track to let Canavan and Al by.
Looks like there's somebody with a flat tire. Yeah. Even skid marks all over the track. Somebody's got a flat. Looks like it might be David Raleigh who's got that flat tire back in 22nd.
That's David Raleigh. I've just grabbed him up on the screen, and he has got all sorts of problems here. He's trying to keep that car going. He's got a right front flat at least, and that is causing all sorts of problems. He has beat the jeepers out of that car.
Back in the back side of the track too, so it's got a long ways to go to get to the pit lane. Get it through the 130R here, and then that tough right-left chicane.
That can't be much fun. Knowing that there's cars bearing down on his speed, but oh geez, and he lost it going into the pits, and I'm pretty sure end his night. He was in the pit lane when he lost it, and that's it. David Raleigh is
done.
David, sorry to see it go that way. But that's racing.
Tough way to end it. But we'll see him back next week.
Especially when you're 10 feet from repair.
Alright, there's another broadcaster's first. So who are we going to pick on next, Jack?
Oh boy. I don't even want to go up to the leaders. They might fire us, but I don't know who'd want our job.
No doubt. Oh no, so like
Paul Hall back in
afraid to go. It's like we go to anybody, it's like we're going to pick on them or something. This is not good.
Who's next? Chuck Carter back in P25. And it looks like that's...
How about my old teammate, David Canavan?
No, I'm rooting for that little Irishman.
Oh,
Chris Moses, P1. What's happened there? What's happened?
something up front.
What's happened?
Looks like 201 laps in a row from Rich Roman, so that's giving up 8 seconds right there. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 6 seconds, so that's let Chris get by.
Miss that bomb. Boy, those leaders won't like that. There is no broadcaster's curse involved here. I want all the viewers to know that, and the drivers. If you review this, we had nothing to do with that leader change. In fact,
Absolutely nothing. And we completely missed it, right?
No, we ignored it. But there he is, back out in front, Chris Moses.
A nice clean car, everything fixed.
Yeah, and Rich has got a couple of lap cars in between him and Chris. And here's where I would expect these lap cars will get the heck out of the way and let Mr. Roman get on by. I'm surprised if Flagman wasn't getting that blue flag out there. Not close enough.
Well, Chris and Rich are running about the same lap times right now, so... Let's see Rich really be able to make up any ground on him.
Rich on the outside of that lap car there. Got another car off into the grass there as I was following Roman around. And Aaron Parsons putting the hammer down, coming after Rich. And David Poole, 2 cars back of that. This is heating up a little bit.
Kenneth Savant just got it into the gravel a little bit. That's going to let David Poole move up this a little bit.
Yeah, as Savant is pushing hard to catch up.
Brad Maris is 31 seconds behind the leaders. He's letting him get a little bit out of touch here. He's going to want to go for this win. He's going to have to push a little harder if he can. Easy to say.
Easy to say, but P6 is not a bad spot to be in. I know these guys always go out and they always want to win, but I mean, boy, oh boy, you've raced this league for quite a while, and you know how competitive it is. All the way through from the back to front. I mean, there is no position that's a giveaway in this league.
I've been in it since, what, season 3 or 4 or something like that. So yeah, I've been around a long time and still haven't gotten my win. So it is a tough league.
Back to P7, Solberger, Canavan, P8. Boy, and right behind him.
A little bit of gap there between him and Al.
Yep, but in between Al and Canavan, we have Mark O'Connie.
Watch that.
I'm on
Marco
that now.
takes the boss.
Yeah, no, I don't want to take the boss. Definitely. We'll go over to Canavan. He's got the luck of the Irish behind him. He'll probably be immune to the broadcaster's curse.
Well, you do that. I'm going to follow along since I'm on my own little system here. Let's see how Al and Marco treat each other here.
Canavan
have
on
some
the inside of some
myself, right?
traffic and gives him a dip of the lights. And thank you very much. Thanks for letting me through. Canavan hanging it out there.
He's got a loose setup for tonight.
Absolutely. You mentioned that earlier, and he does. He is using all the runoff space in the track that's available. And Big Al Merriman, the boss, he's having a great ride tonight.
Makes a great looking race car. And a fast one too.
And you got that. He is right up behind Marco Connie, and Marco's up behind another lap car going now. Just catches a little bit of that grass there. Still not close enough on that back straight to catch a blue flag.
No, but you lost a lot of ground there with that bobble. Kind of lucky you didn't pitch him right into that pit lane fence.
And that's exactly where Rally ended his night. John Wathen back in P10. Oh, I'm sorry, John. John just put it into the gravel. Sorry about that. P11, Lauren Meisman. Lauren's got a bit of damage on the front end of that Nissan I think he's driving.
Well, we saw him banging it out with some guys earlier.
Great looking car. I love the paint job on that car. Marty Uren, our senior statesman out of California in P12. Christian Hamilton up to P13. That's a great ride for Christian. And Sam Rolfe still hanging in there, P14. Boy, this will be great for Sam. He can finish in the points here in this GT1 league. This will be a great confidence booster for this guy. Juan Monroy in P15, and Douglas in the points, P16. Go Gupta. Andrew Warner not too far behind Gupta. Oh, Andre Cole off the track. Back on it going again in P18. He's got damage in the front end of that car. I don't think he got any of that fixed in his pit stop. Marco Connie in P19. And Johnny Mack in P10, 20, and he is off into the kitty litter. Oh, and that looks like John Wathen off into the kitty litter too. Boy, I gotta keep these cameras off these guys. They're gonna hate us when we're done. Johnny Mack, his car is beat to pieces. He has no splitter. He has got to go in the pits, and that's exactly what he's doing. And we've got another Ferrari in the pits just coming out too. Who would that be?
It's that red and yellow car. Couldn't be Rich. Rich is only 4 seconds back, so...
I haven't seen Sportelli. Where the heck is Sportelli been?
I don't see Sportelli here tonight. No Sportelli.
Is that Chuck Carter?
Oh, I'm scrolling, but haven't come across him yet.
And there's your leader, Chris Moses. And not far behind is Rich Roman.
And yes, that would be Chuck Carter, who was just came out of the pits in 23rd. Four laps down, but he's still out there running.
Attaboy. Well, you've made it this far. You've got to keep on going because you never know. 3 hours, attrition's going to take its toll.
Running lap 40.
And as Chris got enough of a gap to not need a miracle in the pits, it's going to be hard to make up this ground here. Rich not too far behind though.
What did they pit on lap 21 last time, right? So
it's going to be close.
Yeah, we're probably only a lap or two away. I'm going to be real interested to watch Aaron Parsons as he's able to close up that 10-second gap again in pits, and if he's able to, then we'll kind of know what to expect for that third one.
Yeah, there is no
Everybody
damage.
be able to take a little bit less gas.
No damage at all with Parsons' car. He's got David Poole hot on his heels.
And they're only 11 seconds off the leader, so...
And you can bet both these guys know exactly where they are. Poole having a good look. Parsons comes out ahead on that one. And right behind them is Kevin Sepois. And we got a little bit of lap traffic up ahead of Parsons here.
Surprised if we see Rich come in real soon before Chris Moses. He's about a full second off his lap time, 258s now. The second you see your laps drop off that far off the pace, you're gonna want to come in so you don't lose it, track time out there.
Yeah, but he's gonna want to get in ahead of Chris and let Chris stay out there for another lap. Is he gonna want to come in exactly the same time? Parsons a little hot into that corner, and Poole looks like he might have be able to get a little bit of a run on him here.
Which is about half a second a lap slower than Chris at the moment, so
that's really going to
he
add
changes
up.
those tires and gets out. Yeah, it will. It'll add up. Chris comes in early and puts on some stickies. When Chris stays out, then Rich will be able to make that time up on the track, so...
Well, right now I'm back with Parsons and Poole. And it looks like Andre Cole back off. I hope that's Andre Cole and not our Rich Roman. That is Rich Roman. Rich Roman off. Rich was off, and now he's been to the pits. He's diving into the pits. Roman had an off on the track. Oh, and he is all over the place in pit lane there. That drops Rich into P5. That puts Parsons in behind Chris Moses. Chris.
See what Chris does. If Chris realizes there was a problem, he'll try to gap him some, but...
I was wondering the same thing. If he realized, you can see on his dashboard there that Roman's had problems. Is he going to put the hammer down and try and grab a bit of time here and stay out a bit?
Well, Chris is running consistent 157s at the moment, so he's not going to be able to put the hammer down too much, because he doesn't want to put it in the wall either. Maybe he think that he'll just stay on his own little pace and just pit here at the end of this next lap.
Well, I think we're belittling the fact here. The 157's not a little pace, and putting the hammer down. I think he's had the hammer down since the flag dropped. Running a great race. Let's see. Is Chris going in? He is in. Chris is in the pits.
Chris is going in now, and Rich Roman just left the pits, so Rich Roman just now going up through the S's, so it's gonna be real close when they come out.
Well, I'm just gonna hang in here. With Chris Moses.
Looks like Aaron Parsons stays out.
Is that Poole that just pulled in?
Yeah, David Poole's just now into the pits.
interesting. Are you out in the track? Who are you out with? Are you out with Rich?
I'm kind of flipping around here at different cameras, looking at who's coming in. David Cannon just now into the pits. So
Chris
definitely in the pit window here, so.
Chris is just up getting his tires. And they're all streaming into the pits, so we've got full house coming in. I'm
going to be real interested here to see what Aaron's able to do. He was running there in the 58s while everybody else is running in the 57s, so.
Chris is off. He's off the jacks and he's out.
He's going to be way out in front of Rich Roman.
It looks that way, yeah. It looks like he is going to be a heck of a long way out in front.
Probably around 8 seconds or so, because Rich is just now starting start-finish. One thing I didn't notice is these temps have gone way up. They're up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
And that could be a reason why Rich might have cooked out his tires a little earlier than in the first stint.
Yeah, maybe.
Canavan's out of the pits.
I'm going to see if he comes in now. And Aaron is into the pit, so he's able to go another extra lap. And then an extra 2 laps, and Chris and Brad, or excuse me, Chris and Rich. So Aaron's going to be able to take a little bit less fuel, have a little bit quicker stop. Might be saving that for the last stop, though.
Well, we got Rowan in P8. And right now he's in behind Marty Everett. And Marty is in Ferguson in P7. No blue flag coming out here. Marty, a bit of a bobble in there. Oh, and yes, we've got, looks like Paul Hall had an off there, and Marty had a little bit of a bobble and a little bit of a tense moment. Looks like we had Andre Cole going off the track down in the lower section as well. A lot of mixed up action going up here after this first change, and Marty into the pits, and that lets Rich on down the track.
So this is going to let Aaron Parsons move up to second spot as soon as Kevin Savoy makes his stop. Thing is, Aaron's going to be about 13 seconds behind, or about 10 seconds behind Chris Moses after he cycled through. So Aaron not able to make up any time in that pit stop on Chris.
Yeah, Lauren Weisman hasn't pitted yet, has he? I don't believe so.
No, Lauren has not.
Well, the front end of that Nissan's all beat up, but she sure is pushing the back end of Parsons' bumper.
Parsons here with a full load of fuel and some cold tires. But with Laurent knowing he's got a pit, I don't think Laurent will push it and make any mistakes around Aaron.
No, it looks like already Aaron is giving himself a bit of breathing room there. Once he gets some heat in those tires, I think Aaron's going to be motoring down the track.
He made a long stint out of his first one there. He's going to do the same thing here.
Well, Savoy right now is sitting in P1, and Moses is in behind him. If Savoy stays out another lap or so, it theoretically could hold Chris Moses up a little bit and help Rich close the gap. And Parsons. Oh, and Savoie loses it. Oh, and into the wall big time and back out on the track. Oh, and boy, that was very close. I thought he was going to take Chris out on that re-entry there.
But he goes in now to take those tires. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. He stays out, but he must have collected
that.
damage on that thing. Oh, boy. I can't believe it. I don't see him work on these guys. I don't see him work on the car. And he hit the wall fairly hard.
He got away with one there. Pole's teammate, Andrew Werner, just now coming out of the pits in 19th.
Parsons sitting in P3, but that really is going to be P2 after we get the pit rotation all finally straightened out. Boy, that Nissan must be really good on fuel.
So we got two people up there. Kevin Savoie, current leader, haven't pitted. We got Laurent Weissman, who hasn't pitted. But Kevin goes in, or excuse me, Laurent goes in now, so
Weissman in.
Leaves one, Kevin Savoie, and probably Gupster, huh?
Yes, and that puts Roman up to P5, and that'll move him probably up to P4 when Nissan makes it into the pits. Brad Maris moving up to P6. Solberger will move up to P8. Al Merriman will move up to 9. And Gup Douglas coming around. And I don't think Gup has done his pit stop either.
No, Gup was 20 laps on that first stint, so I would expect him to go at least to lap, what, 56 or so. Or excuse me, a lap.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Do my quick math here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, he did 28 in the first to be 56.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Seems like 10 laps seems like a long way to go.
Boy, oh boy, he's got the extended range dialed in on that car. John Watson.
The revs pulled all the way back in.
He must have. And John Watson in P11. John's had a few offs tonight. John Watson in the Saline with Amcan Racing out of Louisville, Kentucky. And Lawrence back out in P12. Hunting down John Watson.
I don't know what the cut rules were for tonight, but I think some guys are going to have to start being a little more careful around some of these corners. Seeing a lot of four wheels inside corners. I didn't know if there were any rules about that or special cut percentage for tonight.
There's got to be the 10% rule out there for that, especially that casino triangle. They seem to be all over the place over there. They're taking that so aggressively, and when the cars are getting mixed up. But you know, it has been said, if you're within a car length of another car and you can't see the line, they may let that one slide. That's up to the CC committee. Definitely not up to the broadcast booth.
It's not, you know, you wouldn't expect drivers to like push that envelope at all either now, will we?
Absolutely not. And of course, folks, keep it in mind, it's only one man's opinion out here. Christian Hamilton in P15. And Marty Uren in P16. In P17. And Mark O'Connell up to P18. And his car looks pretty clean.
I have to say, I'm a little surprised to see Marty kind of lingering in there that 12 to 15, 16 spot back there for the whole race. He's a little off pace tonight, you know, for his normal pace.
It's a little surprising to me too. He's a pretty fierce competitor. I usually expect to see him, you know, in the top 10 minimum. He's usually right in there.
Yeah, it's not like him to be a second and a half, 2 seconds off the leader pace. He's always one of the guys making the pace.
Salem Montgomery in P20. Looks like he's got Aaron Parsons coming up behind him.
Last time, I would think Kevin Savant is getting ready to come in. He put it on lap 25 in the first stint. So he's working lap 50 right now, or 49 right now, so keep an eye on him to come in this lap.
Well, this is going to be interesting here at the Casino Triangle. We've got Aaron Parsons up and behind Salem Montgomery. Johnny Mack back in 21st. Paul Holm Croc Corvette in 22nd. Chuck Carter in 23rd. And temporarily until the pit rotation comes around, we're back up with your current race leader, Kevin Savoie. Savoie in the pits.
So he's gonna have to make one more stop, but it's gonna be a super short stop. That I bet he probably tries to double stint his tires and just takes a very small amount of fuel. So Kevin's last stop is going to be real quick.
A splash and dash.
A splash and dash is what he's going to do here. So we'll see where he comes out here, how far behind he comes out behind Chris and Aaron and maybe even Rich Roman. We'll see.
I'm on Kevin Savoie in the pits. He's still hanging on to his P1.
Chris Moses just now coming through the last section of corners there on the main straight.
And Savoie just up on the jacks.
So he's going to end up about 25-30 seconds behind Chris, which might make this an interesting last stint.
Savoie's moving. Puts him out in fifth.
little off there. Only 20 seconds behind Chris. I'm sorry. So that's about the right amount of time you can make up by short filling and not taking tires. So it's going to be Kevin's strategy.
It's going to be interesting. Brad Maris.
If he doesn't make any mistakes.
Well, we've seen the leaders make mistakes, so we've seen just about everybody have mistakes here. You know, this is
right.
A battle of attrition here with 3 hours. It only takes a little bit. On Brad Maris there, I had 4 wheels drifting going around the corner there. We're going to leave you alone, Brad. Don't want to put you off and prize you anymore.
Yeah, I saw Kevin come out. He came out right out of the pits, and he was right behind Paul Hall in the Mustang, and Kevin wasn't patient at all. He wanted to make that pass on Paul right away, and got into the back of him. So I don't know if he got any damage, and a little bit of aero damage on the front of that car might, well, it certainly won't help. So he's going to have to be careful about that, because he wants to short-stop the work.
And it looks pretty clean. It looks like there might be a little bit of front end there. Not a good time
to just going to move out of the way for you, but you know, no.
You know, a little dip of the headlights, and most of these guys out here know what that means. You know, please get out of my way. They all know that, and most of them respect that. I'm not so sure it was really please get out of the way, but
no, please.
This is racing for all
wearing a helmet. Nobody can hear you.
Rich Roman in P4.
12 seconds back. He's got some work to do if he wants to get back up to that lead spot. But we've seen towards the end of his stint, he was about a second a lap.
Yeah. He may not have it in the car to do it later on.
And so that off he caught may have pretty much sealed his fate for this race, huh?
Yeah, and that, you know, one mistake in a 3-hour race and that cost you the win. That in itself is heartbreaking. Mr. Parsons, P2. There's the man of the 3 hours so far, Chris Moses. Just a little side note, Chris went off at 4 to 5, I believe. It was 4 to 5 this afternoon. The odds might have changed during the afternoon, but 4 to 5.
I'll have to look.
I wonder who's going to make money tonight. I'm going to cycle through the pack. Actually, I'm going to just slide over to the leaderboard. Let everybody take a look and see how it's shaping up. Big Al likes me to do that, and I've forgotten all about that. Here we are. Chris Moses in P1 with Parsons 7 seconds behind. 1 second behind Parsons is David Poole, followed by Rich Roman and Kevin Savoie. Brad Maris and David Canavan. Close, those two. Those two are right on each other. So I'm going to jump over there right now. Like a little bit of free train going down that straight. Brad Maris into the corner first.
Looks like they just made their way around Paul Hall.
Yes. And Canavan all over the back of him. And as you mentioned earlier, Canavan sure is sliding that car around.
He's able to make it work for him. But he's been working his way up. He was in 11th and 12th.
Yeah, actually, I think he started 14th, if I'm not mistaken. And he must be looking pretty large in Brad's mirror right now.
He's been looking in the mirror. He's listening now.
Canavan got a great run on Brad and going by him. And he's got him on the straight. He got a great run off that corner.
Heck, you almost made that look easy, huh?
Brad has not given him an inch though. All over the back of him. Through the and Canavan is bobbled on the corner there, and Brad has retaken the position. Some great late racing going on here.
A little heavy on the pedal there, David, and just like that, Brad right by.
And Canavan looking on the inside there. Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised, me, Curtis, to watch Canavan trying to make the same move he did on the last lap.
Well, you know what? You know it works. You know your car is good there.
Hey, a little shout out here.
Stuff you put in the memory banks, huh?
Yeah, a little shout out here to Steve Kaker. His race is over for tonight. Looks like he's joined us in the broadcast. Good to have you along, Steve. Great racing out there.
Here we are, David Canavan in that part of the track where he's got that good drive. Don't think he'll be close enough this time around, so. One thing about that, you know, is Brad Maris also put that in his memory banks too, so he'll be making plans to not let that happen twice.
Absolutely. Brad's probably saying, I got to get myself just on a few more car lengths before Canavan hits that corner.
He does there too. It was the other way around this time. Brad made a little bit of a bobble in the middle of that corner, and he wasn't able to get on the power soon enough, and David's able to power on by.
And this is where Canavan lost it last time, so hangs on this time. Great late race action going on. With as loose as Canavan is running that car, I'm not going to be surprised to see this position play back and forth a few more times before it's all over.
No, probably will happen. Just a quickie back of the pack update here. Andrew Werner, David Pohl's teammate, looks like he lost it somewhere around the hairpin area, and he's missing his splitter, so he's going to lift it back around, and looks like he might also have a flat tire. It's off into the kitty litter there back in 20th spot. So he'll work his way back into the pits.
Well, Gup Douglas in P10. Lauren Weisman on P11. Wathen down a couple of spots from earlier in the race where he was hanging on to P10 and P12. Juan Monroy in behind him. Monroy chasing down Wathen. Sam Rolfe into P14. Christian Hamilton into P15. And Marty's back in P16. Andre P17, Marco Connie in P18, Salem Montgomery in P19, and Werner's in the kitty litter. It looks like he might be stuck with that flat tire. Having a heck of a time getting her out, getting her moving. Left front flat. Right front flat, sorry. Oh, he's just got to keep it out of that gravel. I know he's trying to stay off the race surface, but the gravel is just up. Nasty here. Lap traffic coming up. Oh, he put it in the kitty litter. Keep her going, man. Get her out of there.
Andrew gets way out of the way.
Yeah, it's about the only option he had there.
Yeah, he's going to miss pit entrance if he's not careful.
He got her. He's in. Boy, Andrew, get in there. Get your crew ready. Haul.
And it looks like our, on a little side note here, our only two-stopper of the race, Gubster Douglas, should be getting ready for his pit stop next time around. He's sitting in 10th spot right now, so it looks like it's going to work for him and get him for his top 10.
That'll be a great move on Gub's part. Great fuel conservation and tire conservation, too. I mean, they'll be running on one less change of tires unless some of these guys double stint.
Kevin Savoy, who was about 19.5 seconds out when he came out behind Chris, is closed that gap to 18.5. So that last pit stop, so keep an eye on Kevin Savoy. Of course, that's not happening for what, another 20 or so laps, huh?
Well, he's going to wind on down. Parsons in P2. David Pohl in P3 and Rich Roman in P4. 2, 3, 4. All making a race with back there. Boy, oh boy, you just know Rich wants by these guys in a bad way. Savoy back in P5. Canavan 6 and Brad Maris smoking the tires coming off the corner right behind him again. Solberger in P8.
Like Marty had a...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I just saying we were talking earlier about how Marty languishing back there in the 12th and 16th spot. Well, it didn't get any better for him. He had a 4-minute pit stop that last time, so I don't know what happened to Marty in that pit stop. So that's cost him a lot more positions out there on the track.
Well, I wasn't paying too much attention, but it sure looked that there was a couple of cars parked in pit lane, so they might have been double sharing pit stalls and pit service areas.
Always go in with the blue light.
Yes. For yourself and for the guy.
But I guess if you're yeah, but I guess if you're out of gas, you don't have a choice. You're going in.
Pretty much. Juan Monroy. And it looks like Marco Connie in a little bit of a battle back here.
And Gubster's on the way for... comes out in 16th spot. So, keep an eye on his gaps and see if he can't work his way back up in the top 10. Go Gub!
In the points. Having a great race. and just haven't seen it. But you know what? He still does it. The front of his car is all smashed up, and he turn that off and not bother getting it done.
Maybe he's just a little frustrated and keeps making those mistakes we're talking about, and this is what will happen to you. You may be fast, but those mistakes caused a little bit of damage, and fighting with people you wouldn't normally be fighting with, and they're not expecting it, and you're not expecting it, and you get frustrated. And next thing you know, your whole night is wasted.
Yeah, you know, a race this long, I think you pretty much have to get your damage repaired, unless you're going for a splash and dash at the end. I mean, it's too long a race to be giving up one or a second and a half a lap. It's just going to add up and kill you.
Yeah, it's very true. Definitely. It's costing you a second lap you're doomed, so you just go in and fix it and work your way around your schedule as you can, best you can. But with 25 to 30 laps, 20 to 25 lap stints, that's 25, 30 seconds, and you can't really afford to do that.
Following around here with Chuck Carter, if I'm not mistaken. He's our last man running out there. Hang in there, Chuck. Finish off the race. Chris Moses coming up, it looks like on Solberg.
Chuck had a bad start and didn't seem to get any better tonight for him.
Solberg on the side. And lets Chris through smoothly.
Let's the leaders go. Chris looks like he's kind of out on a Sunday drive right now, but he's got to be, in the back of his mind, he's got to be wondering what Savoy is up to, because he knows Kevin's going about 4 or 5 laps longer. So that's about, 8 to 10 laps fuel difference, and he's probably thinking, Chris knows what Kevin's up to, so.
Yeah, I've, since it is during this broadcast stuff, I called him the pit wizard, and he just seems to have so much awareness of what the heck's going on out on the track around him and with everybody else at the same time. And to set up the grid and get the games racing, the race is underway. Yeah, man, hats off to that guy for all he does around here on HMP.
He does do a lot of work. You know what I think it is? He's got one of those rotary switches instead of just an on-off switch. He's got a rotary switch. He goes, okay, admin mode, click, race mode, click, practice mode, click, alright, race mode, / whatever everybody else up to mode, click, so that's how he works, I think.
Aaron Parsons in P2. I'm going to go over the leaderboard, and let's just take a little look here. We've got Chris Moses out in front. Aaron Parsons 12 seconds behind, and David Poole behind him. And Rich Roman in behind David Poole, and there's a race there. Kevin Saw, not far off that leader with Canavan, about 50 seconds off the leader. But Canavan and Maris are making a good race on this. Solberger and Merriman, they're in close together too. No advisement. Those are your top 10, and those are the top 10 guys on the lead lap. P11 won Monroy, 12. Sam Rolfe having a dandy race tonight in P13, Christian Hamilton 14. Marty in P15 and Gup Douglas in the 1 in 16. Andre Cole in 17. Mark O'Connor in 18. Salem Montgomery Jr. in 19. John McIntyre in 20. And Waller 21. That's how they're laying out. Let's get on board with Aaron Parsons, who's being chased down by David Poole.
He's got Rich Roman and David Poole all over him, so these three together. Rich, our early leader of this race. He's got the pace. He was running 56s earlier. It's his only hope to take the win. Let's get past these guys soon. Hope for a mistake, Chris in the pits.
Well, you know, that's in Rich's mind too, that if he can get by these two guys, he has a chance. It might be an outside chance, but he knows he has a chance. And Mr. Parsons, no slouch in the pits either. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if any one of these guys pitched a rabbit out their hat.
3 stoppers. Believe it or not, we're getting close to pit stop time again. We've got another 2 or 3 more laps. And we'll see the 3 stoppers start diving into the pits for their final stops.
Boy, a lot of smoke and rubber on this casino triangle.
There's the curse.
And Rich Roman, big slide coming around there at Parsons.
I was going to say Aaron didn't feel the pressure, but I was totally wrong.
Again, Curtis, you got to take the blame on this one. You just mentioned his name and he went off the track. We could actually make the winner of this race if we just followed Chris around and put him off the track.
Where's Paul Hall? Come on, Paul, come win this race.
Boy, these 3 guys are really bad with it. You can bet Aaron wasn't happy with that move there.
Mad at himself for making that mistake. You know, if it comes down to these guys being this close after 3 hours of racing, it's just crazy. Weissman destroyed the front of that Nissan, and he dives into the pit lane right now from 11th place. He's going to drop down the leaderboard.
And David in second position. And yes, you are coming up to pass.
down 2 laps down in 16th spot.
Well, no disrespect to our race leader, Miss Moses, but we're going to hang in here in the P234. We've got a horse race going on here.
I expect Christian's going to be pitting either this lap or the next lap, and I'll keep an eye on him and see if he goes up on the jacks and takes tires. I would expect it to be a full stop. At the beginning, not being known for
Are coming up to some more lap traffic, and this is always dicey. All up behind Andres Cole and down on the inside. Andres got his teammate, which are right behind him, so he's going to have to let his teammate get by him. Or help draft
let him get a bit of a draft off you first.
Whoa. Yep, and he went wide.
You see how much that costs Rich. Look at the gap between David and Rich now. It's 2 seconds.
Yeah, I actually think it would have been smarter for Andre just to pull right out of the way and let his teammate go by. We're getting more mass spinning.
Yeah, you're thinking helping the guy, give him a draft down the straight. Cost him one time braking.
Oh, heavy on the brakes, Rich, in the corner there.
Let's Aaron get right up on him.
And Aaron
Kevin
is
Sawat is right there too. I think really Kevin Sawat is sitting in the catbird seat right here with that 2-stop. If his tires can last that whole, the whole last stint, he might be
the splash and dash might make it.
pretty. He's only 16, 18 seconds behind, so. And Chris Moses is into the pits.
Chris is in.
There we go.
Cole is in. Parsons stays out.
Kevin's going to stay out.
Kevin stays out.
And we know Aaron's going to probably stay out 2 more laps, so we'll see Aaron probably in
and
at 5 laps.
he just lost it in the corner, first corner after you start finish, sideways on the track. I mean, it's collected up there. Canavan up to 6th, getting rid of Sandy Montgomery. Canavan in the pits.
Chris Moses is up on the jack, so he's changing his tires.
Brad Maris stays out.
So Chris Moses just now coming out of the pits.
Chris coming out, Hamilton in too.
we'll find out probably in what, 10 more laps? Kevin pits?
Yeah, that'll be the big telltale there to see what he actually does. He's got to take his splash and dash. It's his only option. It's not his only option, but I think that's his best option. He's just to take a splash of gas and go.
That was a long pit stop for David Cole. He's
Parsons in the pit. That puts Savoy out in front.
Pitting a lap earlier. As it sits right now, Kevin Savon's got a minute 4 on Chris Moses.
Chris on fresh tires. And probably, he is got the pedal down now. Heavy into
Kevin might have Kevin might have a decision to make. He may have enough time that he might be able to take tires and no gas and still be able to get out in front of Chris.
I still would, if he can go within 10 laps of the finish, I'd take a splash in the finish. Yeah, I would still risk it.
Tire temps, the track temp's still climbing. It's up to 105. So we don't know what Kevin's wear is on those tires. So if he's running hards on it, if you put hards on it at that last stint, he'll definitely be able to do it. If you come in mediums, it's going to be dicey. Might be worth the gamble though.
It might just be Kevin Savoy coming up this lap traffic. Boy, he's got a bunch of them up.
he's got a gaggle out there in front of him, yeah.
That has got to be absolutely frightening for him right now. Coming up to this lap.
That would be Paul Hall, the guy who got into the back. He came out of his last pit stop. Being a little more careful this time.
And he's way on the inside. One down, 2 more to go, Kevin. Not a great passing spot on this track either. On the inside, let's go. Nice and clean. Yeah, this is Canada. These guys are good.
Christian teammate Christian Hamilton, who's last in the points at the moment, 16th place. So now we start keeping tabs on the gap and see if Chris Moses is able to shrink that gap down now. He's been able to take about a second and a half off that last lap, about a second off. So we'll see.
Well, Chris is going to have to put up with, making his way through lap traffic as well. I mean, it's going to have all these top running guys. There you have it.
I haven't timed how long it takes to get through pit lane on itself. So probably looking at what 10, 15 seconds through pit lane, and then about 30 seconds. So we're looking at a 45-second stat, which would put Kevin about 15 seconds, 12 to 15 seconds out in front of Chris. So if Chris is able to make up 10 seconds here right away over these next 10 laps, it's going to be advantage Chris, I think. Chris doesn't wear his tires out.
Yeah, he will have fresher tires if, Kevin's just going to have to gamble this. He's got to go for it now and double stick these tires, and he gets the pit lane clean. And he's not a big long pit lane, so he's just going to have to make everything work perfectly for the rest of this race. But we wouldn't expect anything less than a nail-biter right to the end.
Especially after 3 hours, huh?
It's amazing. It always amazes me how competitive these guys can be right to the end of these endurance races. Kevin Savoie, P1. Chris Moses, P2. Parsons, P3. Parsons, pole, and Roman still at it.
You know what? We're down to the last 19 laps of this race, so
Boy, we think it's been a long evening up here in the broadcast booth. Roman, Paul, Parsons. They've had a heck of a battle going on for the better part of this whole race.
yeah, they've been busy all night long. You haven't really had any time to just stretch the fingers and take a rest, except for doing their pit stop.
And this track is really demanding. They've got a couple of nice long straights, but you got to be right on it as soon as you get out of these straights because the twisty bits are so technical.
The problem is they're not really straight except from start-finish straight, You're always you're still working it. You glance around and your car is off the side of the track, so...
Absolutely, that...
You've always got to stay focused.
That back straight to turn 15, that little kick, boy, oh boy, that can send you out in the kid in a real hurry. Right around here with Mr. Parsons, it looks like he is putting a little bit of a gap on to David Cole. But Rich Roman is not letting David get too far out in front.
Interesting side note. Chris is able to chop away at that lead. Chris is down to 57 seconds, so he's chopped another 3 seconds off that lead from Kevin.
Wow. At that rate, he does have time to make it a track race to the finish.
He is, but Chris is pushing really hard. I've seen lots of little offs here and lots of little offs there, and wiggling and back end coming around, so he's pushing hard, but he's going to have to be careful that he wants to hit some tire left to make that final charge against Kevin.
Well, he has to push. He's got to make up that time. I'm sure Chris is not going to want to lose this thing down to fuel and pit strategy.
Well, he knows there's going to be time given back to him, so if he knows exactly how much time it takes to get through the pits and what Kevin's got in mind, he'll know exactly what he needs, and that might be why he's pushing so hard.
Well, and he can. I'm riding along with Chris right now, and he just got wide open track. There is no one in front of him, no one behind him.
like running qualifying laps in the race.
Absolutely. At the speed these leaders are carrying, it is like qualifying laps. Well, Chris is another one. He usually sets his car up pretty good, so it's not unusual to see him sliding that car around pretty good. We've got a change again. I'm sorry I missed this one again. Pole has gotten by. Parsons had an off. Just caught the tail end of it. Pole and Roman by Aaron Parsons. And this is the second time that Aaron's done this, and he's got to make his way back up again. David Pole at P3. Rich Roman P4. Aaron Parsons in P5. Oh, and Aaron has got that car going sideways. Canavan up to P6. Brad Maris in P7.
That lead down to 53 seconds.
Boy, closing the gap. Solberg in P8, Big Al Merriman in P9, Juan Monroy in P10, Gup Douglas up to P11. It's a great race for Gup. Oh, and Gup has lost it. He's off into the kitty litter.
Oh no, after all that work.
Boy, and he has lost one position there. Got her back on. Hang on, Gup. Pushing
Looks
really
like he probably bounced off that corner, huh?
Yeah, pushing really hard through that chicane there. He just pushed it out into the kitty litter, and that can be a real time eater right there. Lauren Weisman in P14. Up Maserati P18 and Salem Montgomery Jr. in the P19. John McIntyre in P20 and Paul Hall in P21. Chuck Carter P22. And back up front there's a race leader. Savoy has been tangled in traffic.
That's not working for his advantage. Chris has chopped that lead down to 51 seconds now. So Chris is running about a second and a half, 2 seconds a lap faster right now than Kevin Savoy. So
and Kevin has been mired in lap traffic since that last pit stop. And Chris seems to have some good on the track too. So just circumstance seems to be playing into Chris Moses' hands right now.
Sure does, and if he pits right now, that's 15 laps remaining. If he does, I'm just speculating here. I don't think he'll have enough to hold Chris off.
Well, we can all say
it's going to be close.
We can all say it'd be a shame to finish second, but boy, oh boy, sure would be nice to finish second in this long race. But he is all into sort of lap traffic, but they let him through on that one. Good. Good on you guys.
Well, it looks like Kevin just really doesn't have a choice now to run his tank down as far as he can, come in and make it as short a pit stop as he can, and go up and loosen his tires and see how well he can hold on. That lead down to 49 seconds now.
Yeah, and he's a couple of seconds off the pace actually. If I'm reading these second times. seems to be really,
he's got a little bit of open track now, so
he's really sliding that car around. He's walking in easy. Getting near the end of his tire life.
he might be pushing it a little too hard here.
Well, it's easy for us to critique from up here, but it sure is different when you're down in the driver's seat.
Got to change my tires, what's the temperatures outside? Still hot, by the way, 35 degrees. Put him in a really good position for a second place.
It sure did. You know, that battle is for third, fourth, and fifth.
You know.
That's actually, you know, helped him out.
Those guys are fighting. Exactly, they're fighting and helping him out. It's probably unwittingly, you know?
Oh, definitely. All they know is they want that position of the guy in front, and Rich Roman is all over the back of David Poole, and it looks like they have left just a little ways. Aaron doesn't seem to have it to get back up to where he was. Mind you, he did it twice already. He may run out of laps this time.
The clock says there's 30 minutes left in the race, but the lap timer says there's 13 laps left in the race, so we're going to go on laps. We're going 87 laps tonight.
Well, that's not surprising. They have been putting down some pretty fast laps. That looks like maybe Paul Hall or Salem Montgomery in the pits. That David Poole sure has that concept really handling this track well.
Well enough to keep Rich Roman right behind him, glued to his rear bumper.
Boy, Rich is really pushing to get up close enough to take an advantage on one of these corners coming off onto a straight. A little bit of a slide on this corner.
Kevin into the pits. Our leader is in.
He's in.
45 seconds. He was only 45 seconds up on Chris Moses. Let's see how this works out.
Well, we're going to sit right
I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off. I don't think there's going to be enough time for him, even with just a little splash. Paul Hall's going out in front of him.
And Chris is off. Chris is off the track. He's off into the gravel. And he's back on again. But that is going to cost him a few seconds. Coming into the chicane.
And you know what? Kevin's going up on the jacks. He's putting some tires on the car, so Chris is going to be your leader.
Oh. You know what? I'm pretty sure Savoie could have come out and neck and neck with him.
It would have been neck and neck.
It would have been very, very close, but maybe Kevin didn't think.
He's out now. He's still going to get out. He's going to be right in that fight for third, fourth, and fifth.
And David Poole goes through to take second. You know what? I think that is a strategic error of Kevin Savoie, but you know, we're not there to make that call. But I think he could have come out and given his best shot to take this race with Chris.
So So he comes out, what is it, 18 seconds behind the leader. Right, the leader. So now he's going to be fighting for the second. He'll have fresh tires. He might be able to take this fight to these guys. They only be 4 seconds behind him. What, 13 laps left. 12 laps left. He'll have to work to do it.
Boy, oh boy, I'm just stunned. I mean, I would have thought that he would have went for it. I think I was convinced he was going to go for a splash and dash and get out there and make it a real race there. And he would have been really close.
Now, you'd mentioned that. You'd mentioned that. It looked like he was a little getting kind of loose in some of those corners. So maybe just came to the conclusion that he knew he wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, it sure looks. I'm back here with
Meantime, David.
Roman, and boy, oh boy, it sure looks like Rich is putting pressure on David Pohl.
I saw David Pohl made a little bobble there, and Rich is not able to capitalize on it, and that's and right there behind him is Kevin Savoy.
Absolutely.
So here's our fight for second, it looks like.
You mentioned that you know, the fresh tires and probably a short you might be able to get up here and challenge these guys. Boy, 70 laps and they're still going at it. Unbelievable.
After 70 laps, and there's no space. Chris Moses pretty much got it covered here, but now that he knows he's Kevin's done, he can take a breath and relax a little bit. Got some bad news for everybody out there. Gubster Douglas is banged up and Marcus is out for the night.
Is closing the gap up to these guys.
Alright.
Hate to move away from these two. This is quite the battle that's going on.
Now this is it. This is the battle right now. Second, third, and fourth all together there within a second of each other. Samar in the black and white Nissan. It's got the freshest tires of the three. Rich Roman, an early leader of the race, had the fastest pace of the three. And David Pohl has just kind of been there all night, you know. He's just ended up in the right spot, so he obviously has the pace too.
And Lauren on the inside, and Lauren takes Rich Roman.
No, that would be Kevin.
I'm sorry, Kevin. Yes, sorry about that. That was a brilliant pass.
So those tires working for him.
It appears they are. I don't think these guys are closing any sort of a gap on Chris Moses.
You don't think Kevin's brave enough to take softs, do you? 105 minutes.
And here's a drag race going down the back. guess what?
Just like that, Kevin's back up in second place.
Absolutely.
Let's see if Kevin's got the pace now. If he's got a second lap on Chris here, with only 11 or 12 laps remaining, he might have a fight to the end here after all.
Boy, oh boy, how smart were we? So much for my splash and dash.
Now that Kevin's able to get away from that fight, let's see if he can start laying down some 56s again. Kevin Savoy laid down at 55.4.
In his last
that
lap.
has to be the fastest lap of the race so far. Yeah.
Fresh tires and next to no fuel. And did he put on stickies?
And did he put on the stickies? These high temps, I don't know. That's a day.
2 or 3 positions. But he might have the chance to put the pressure on. He is getting mired up in some lap traffic, though.
I don't think he'll, he'll make he'll put a little NASCAR move on that guy if he had to. At this point in the race with 10 minutes left. Got 10 laps left.
You know, pulling
Or
Roman,
9.
not letting him just run away. I mean, Cooley's albeit all over him still. Roman's in behind him. This is just some great racing right to the end. But it sure looks like Savoy and that Nissan has the power to get away from these guys. I mean,
so we got 8 laps left. 8 laps left out of a 3-hour race. Second, third, and fourth are nose to bumper. Second place guy thinking about chasing down the leader here.
You know, it doesn't get any better racing anywhere than in AGP. Not that I've seen. These things are so much fun and so competitive. These guys just will not give up, and they'll race nose to tail for any position on the track.
Lead is down to under 10 seconds now, about 9.5. I don't know if at that pace if he'll have the time to do it. But all it would take is a little mistake from Chris if he feels a little bit of pressure at all.
Well, he's probably watching the clock and watching his lap counter. Knows what he has to do.
I've been watching him. He's not using all the track, so he has backed off just a little bit not to make those mistakes. So he's going to say, "Hey, come get me if you can." That's what he's going to do.
Pretty much. And you know what? I sure wouldn't want to try to be passing this guy on the last lap to take the win. I think that would be one of the toughest passes to make in this thing. Switched on the windshield view, and Chris looks quite relaxed. And looks like he's really enjoying himself.
Sunday drive now, huh?
He's earned it.
There's no hidden cards now, nothing to hide up your sleeve. All the cards are out there, so you know Kevin knows what he's going to have to do, and Moses knows it too. So.
And it appears that Kevin's got some clean track ahead of him too, so.
Kevin goes a little wide there, so Kevin's pushing it.
He is using every bit of the track. But you know, he sure doesn't want to. He sure doesn't want to make a mistake because you know, right behind him is the cul-de-sac of David Cole, and one little wobble off, and he could give up that P2.
Yeah, you know, these points will add up over the year. This is the first race. It's an endurance race, but these points count just as much as any other race. So you don't want to just give up points either. That lead teetering on the high sevens. So. Down to 7.5 seconds. There's 6 laps to go.
It is definitely doable.
Might take a little bit of help now from Chris to hand this over, but
well, while this plays out, I'm just going to run through the field while these two guys have some clean track. I'm sure these two professional drivers can make it around without me giving them the broadcast curse. Let's see if I can throw somebody else.
I will follow them around, let you know if anything happens.
Absolutely. P2, Kevin Savoie, David Poole, P3, Rich Roman in P4, Aaron Parsons in P5, and Aaron hunting down the ridge. David Canavan in P6, Brad Maris in P7, John Solberger in P8, Al the Boss Merriman P9, Juan Monroy in P10, John Wathan in P11, held on to that spot for quite a while now. Sam Rolfe in P12, mentioned before, great race Sam. Lauren Weisman in P13, and Marty Uren in P14, and we had Steve Kager put up in the chat board that Marty had some pit problems. Christian Hamilton in P16, and P15, we're coming into P16. Chris Cole in the beat-up Maserati in P17, and Salem Montgomery Jr. in P18. John McIntyre in P19, Chuck Carter in P20, and P21. That rounds out the board. There's your leader, and we can see glimpses in the screen there. Kevin Savoie.
Just over 6 seconds behind now. 5 laps to go. They're working lap 82.
Really closing that gap.
Seconds, 6.2 seconds. Temperatures are starting to cool off a little bit. We're down to 103. We're hovering on the 105 mark all night.
Chris Moses there looking in the back end. He's not going to have
bobble there. It cost him a little bit of time. He's down to about 5 seconds now. So this is getting close.
This is just the way we want it.
4 laps to go. We're working on lap 83.
And I just went back to Rich Roman, and you'll never guess who has come back up to put another pass on Rich Roman is Aaron Parsons, all over the back of Rich. He's probably seen this Viper in his rearview mirror one too many times tonight.
Kevin Savoie, he's got Chris Moses in his sights. He's got a target now. Sometimes it's all it takes.
As soon as, I've got Parsons and Roman duking it out back here for P4. Parsons grabbed the draft, one on the inside. Back up with your leader, and we've got 1 lap car in between Chris Moses and Kevin Savoie.
Looks like Kevin's going to catch him in about the worst spot. A little hairpin. Lead down to 3.2 seconds. 3 laps to go. Working lap 84 to 87.
Oh boy. This is getting pretty darn exciting here.
So we'll see if Kevin can close this gap through this section of the track. We know that Chris's tires are not helping him. Just like that, he knocked off 2 tenths through that section.
He is getting real close.
Look at that, that's a whole second he knocked off in that section of the track right there. He's down to 2.3. 2 laps to go. He's going to be right on Chris's bumper come the final corner of this race.
But Savoie is by.
A tenth or 2. He went a little wide into turn 1 and slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah, we had car services that was going by.
He should be able to make that up here. Always fast out of the chicane, be able to get power down with the serve.
There's all sorts of lap traffic going on here. Out of the way, boys, out of the way.
I would be all over my life right now. Working lap 86. That will no longer be a gap.
This is a great way to end this race. And Chris is going to get held up by this lap traffic. No, and Kevin's so wrong. We're going to get off the road there.
I've all of a sudden got out of podcaster mode and into watching the race fan mode.
I really don't have much to say at this point.
I mean, it's all right there in front of you. You know what's happening here. So let's see what this traffic can do to maybe Chris a little bit of a tow before he gets into the 130.
Closing that gap on that straight there. He just seems to have the power there. This one's on the bottom line. We're into lap traffic again. Messy Savoy coming out of that corner. Chris getting back in.
That looks like it. Chris Moses has won the race by a scant 1 second.
Unbelievable. And there it is, folks. Chris Moses, Kevin Savoy, David Poole comes to take P3. Rich Roman being able to hold off Aaron Parsons' charge, P4. Aaron Parsons finishes P5. Canavan to come around.
He's still way back there in our 130R. He's holding on to P6 right now, but Brad Maris is right there with him.
Yep. Canavan coming around to take the check. He'll take P7.
Brad Maris brings it home 7th.
John Solberger. Quite a ways back, coming around to take his P8. Boy, oh boy. What do you think of that finish? That was exciting.
Wow, you know, one more lap. If we had one more lap, that would have been a great fight. But
one more lap. You know, if
come on, guys, run another lap on the warm down lap.
One more would have been nice. But that was a great finish. Right up to the last chicane there. It was just great racing. Savoy put on a wonderful charge. There's John Solberger taking his P8.
I don't think you can ask for much more than that.
Coming around to take his...
I'm going to drop down and...
Absolutely.
See if I can't grab Crib Moses to come up and have a little chat with us.
Big Al taking his P9. Marty will finish off in P10. Christian Hamilton P11. Andre Cole P12. Salem Montgomery in 13th. And we're losing all the guys that are dropping out. But your race winner, Chris Moses, unbelievable racing. That's what NAGP is all about, folks. A hell of a job, a hell of a show they put on tonight for us. It's been a thrill being up here. Been a long 3 hours. Nothing like what the drivers have experienced. But that's what it's all about here at NAGP. We're just going to take a few seconds off and see if we can drag the race winner Chris Moses up for a couple of words.
Well, if nothing else, I'll have to go down and grab him.
What the race winner didn't...
You know what? Why don't we just... Oh, here he comes. Hello, Chris. This is Curtis and Jack up here. Congratulations on that win. All we needed was one more lap, and it would have been probably one of the most amazing finishes in NAGP history, huh?
Guys, I am annihilated right now. Absolutely worn to death.
Well, that was... we were so excited watching the last 6 or 7 laps go down on that, Chris. We just couldn't believe it. We had very little to say at the end there. It looked like Kevin Savoy was trying to run you down, but what a great race he put on.
Well, man, I thought for sure he double-stinted his tires, so I backed way off, and then I seen him move in a second, and he's only 9 seconds back with 10 laps to go, and I was like, oh my god, he's catching me, and I had to drive those last 10 laps as hard as I could, and I'm in like a ton of pain. I have a dental issue right now, so I had a hard time concentrating, but well, what a crazy race. I made so many mistakes, and then at the end I had to drive for everything to win that one. I had to earn that.
Well, you sure did, and we were surprised here. He took on fresh tires, and I was sure he was going to do a splash and dash and try and come out with you, but boy, he just ran out of time. But you sure held him off, and that was a fabulous race and great entertainment for the viewers.
Oh man, almost made a huge mistake there, but just enough to hold him off. It was fun getting a Lambo win. I haven't had a win in a long time, so I'm gonna pat it on the back and park it in the garage for the night.
Yeah, you looked like you had a little bit of aero damage at that first stint, maybe cost you a couple of seconds overall, but all in all, it was a great race, and congratulations on that win, Chris.
Thank you. I made a huge mistake in 130R when I was out front and bashed it up pretty good. It was like me and Rich were taking turns who could screw up the most during that race, so it was pretty interesting.
Well, we watched you with that off, but that was probably the biggest mistake you made all night. You couldn't have made too many, Chris. You made fewer mistakes than anybody else because you won the race, and after 3 hours, congratulations to you and the other podium finishers as well. And for NAGP TV, it was a great race to watch, and tune in next Thursday. The action will continue.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing this. Great job tonight.
No problem. Thank you. Hey, Jack, you want to try to get Kevin up here?
If he's around, let's get Savoy up here and let's just have a quick little chat with Kevin and see how fried Kevin is.
Let's do that. Hey, Chris, could you do the honors for us, please? Thank you. Hey, Kevin, this is Curtis and Jack.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you doing? Hey, congratulations on a great race. And, tell us about it.
Thanks first of all, and yeah, it was a pretty darn good run. Car felt really good. I knew I had a great car right from the start, and David got me right on David and Chris actually got me on the start, and I'm having issues getting the Nissan to get off the line because even in the qualifying race I had issues, but I was able to put pressure on Dave. He held on damn strong, and I was just able to get him in the 130R on the outside. I was able to make it stick with the draft, and man, I was worried because every time I came I saw the other guys come to the pits, and I knew I could stick to my strategy to fill up the tank and just make a short run in the end. But I think think the third stint, if I would have pitted a few laps earlier, I could have been a lot closer to Chris in the end and probably put a lot more pressure on him. But pretty happy with the run I had. Second place, can't complain. A lot of people said the Nissan was going to be crappy at Suzuka, but man, it was strong in the end.
Yeah, well, it sure looks strong from the broadcast booth. That was a heck of a run, and boy, oh boy, I don't know when you're saying if you had to come out a few laps earlier, you would have made it a closer race. It couldn't have got any closer than it was after 3 hours. Amazing race and a great drive, Kevin. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys, and congrats to Chris. I gave it all I had, man.
Thank you, Kevin. Great run, and you bugger, you fooled me. I thought you were on old tires, so I backed off, and boy, it almost cost me.
Well, for you guys to finish that close together after 3 hours, that's just a testament to how competitive it is up here in NAGP, and especially in this Thursday night GT1 day.
Yeah, it is.
Well, everybody's got to be pretty happy with the race tonight. We're happy with the broadcast for NAGP TV. This is Jack Ivey, and I'm along here with...
I'm Curtis Chandler. A quick shout out too to David Pohl, our third place finisher. So yeah, another great night of racing here. Hope you see you all come back next week here.
Yeah, and congratulations to everybody that came out and raced tonight. You put on a great show for us, and we'll be back at you next Thursday, 9 o'clock race time. Be there. For NAGP TV, this is the broadcast team signing off.